headlines for tonight. The Senate adopts resolution urging ex-Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte's house arrest filed by Senator Cayetano.
Public Works and Highways Chief Vince Dizon orders swift assessment on the damaged infrastructures in Cebu Province.
The death toll of disastrous 6.9 magnitude quake rises to over 70 in Cebu Province, with hundreds being injured.
The National Bureau of Investigation files case against Alice Guo and her family over falsification of public documents.
And Filipino tennis player Alex Yala beats Belgian foe Great Mitten in the quarterfinals of Suzhou Open in China. Good evening, Bray. The latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News Thread. The details on our broadcast. The Senate has adopted a resolution urging the International Criminal Court to grant former President Rodrigo Duterte's house arrest on humanitarian grounds due to his health condition.
The move, led by Minority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano, passed with a 13-3-2 vote despite opposition from some senators. Mia Layagin tells us more.
Amid the ongoing debate on whether the ICC trial against former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte will be pushed through given his health condition, the calls of his camp for his release became stronger. In the Philippines, the Senate on Wednesday acted on a measure seeking release of Duterte, citing his current health condition. Duterte's former 2016 running mate and now Minority Leader Senator Alan Peter Cayetano led the Senate's discussion on Resolution number 144, urging the ICC to grant the former president house arrest under humanitarian consideration. The resolution requests ICC to assign a medical professional that will evaluate Duterte's fitness to stand trial, and if the results says that he cannot, then he should be put under house arrest instead of a regular detention. In his privileged speech, Cayetano argued that amid the allegations, Duterte remains not guilty of the charges before ICC. Hence, he should also be granted due process and humanitarian treatment like ordinary citizens.
It is not against the tenets of human rights to allow any person, especially a former president of the country, to be under house arrest or to be under a country supervised under ICI, especially in the condition of President Duterte, who is 80 years old, who is, well, at least when he was brought there, was mentally strong. Balik tayo sa humanitarian. Pag tinakpan natin yung pangalan o yung mukha niya at ganun yung sitwasyon, tutulong ba tayo o hindi? Di ba?
In his defense, Cayetano noted that the resolution does not aim to undermine the gravity of the charges against Duterte, but his current detention seems like he is being punished even though he is not convicted of any crimes yet.
This is not only for him, but it is for us as a nation. I cannot imagine what the country will do if something, I don't want to say it, but if something happens with him in the detention center at wala man tayong ginawa.
For Majority Leader Mig Subiri, the talks of the resolution is not political, rather a display of compassion to a fellow Filipino, more so a former president. He noted that while other convicted presidents were given considerations, then so should be Duterte.
You have a leader, former leader of the president, on isolation in that area na not assisted, talagang madideteriorate yung tao, Mr. President. Ako, hindi na po ito politika. Huwag nyo nang isipin, DDS o Marcos or kabila. Hindi po. Ito po, I'm speaking as a son who has a father that has the same illnesses that the president is feeling right now. So mine is more an humanitarian, compassionate request.
15 senators agreed to the resolution, including the two floor leaders, as well as Bato de la Rosa, JV Ejercito, Jinggoy Estrada, Win Gatchalian, Bongo, Ping Lacson, Loren Legarda, Rodante Marcoleta, Amy Marcos, Robin Padilla, Erwin Tulfo, Joel Villanueva, and Mark Villar. 3 senators disagreed, namely Senators Kiko Pangilinan, Bam Aquino, and Risa Hontiveros. While Hontiveros agrees that humanitarian considerations should be given, she believes that Duterte's case is too heavy to be considered as ordinary. She also questioned the government's move to release Duterte under humanitarian guise, when in the Philippines, ordinary Filipinos accused of crimes are not given considerations even with old age or health condition.
Nagmumukaring isa pang halimbawa ng ating gobyerno na nagbibigay ng special treatment sa isang makapangyarihang individual. Tila ba'y isa na naman itong patunay na ang batas ay marahas sa karaniwang Pilipino, pero malambot sa iilang may kapangyarihan. Kapag ordinaryong lolo ang inakusahan ng nagnakaw, pwedeng kulong agad at di makapagpiyansa. Pero dito, gobyerno mismo ang lumalaban para bigyan ng house arrest ang isang taong akusado ng mga napakamabigat na krimen.
With 15, 3 and 2 votes, Senate adopted the resolution, with Cayetano urging the Malacanang to consider this call amid political division. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
To further ensure safety in Cebu after it was jolted by a 6.9 magnitude earthquake, the Public Works Secretary ordered a rapid evaluation of infrastructure that sustained damage. He assured, however, that the delivery of services will not be hampered amidst the ongoing evaluation. More from this report. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon has ordered the immediate inspection of infrastructures in Cebu City that were damaged by the powerful earthquake. According to Dizon, a prompt assessment of buildings, bridges, and roads is crucial to ensure public safety as well as the swift delivery of essential needs such as food, water, and medicine. He added that once the inspection results are finalized, immediate repairs will be carried out so the public can use the facilities again.
Tayo sa National Highway. After nun, pati yung mga maliliit, kahit barangay road yan, ayusin natin lahat yan. But we are expecting more heavy equipment to arrive tonight and tomorrow, coming from all over Cebu. No more than 100 heavy equipment, mga backhoe, grader, dump truck. May mga ano din tayo, no? May mga pison din tayo. No? Yes, ma'am. Oh.
Dizon also directed the regional director to coordinate with Cebu-based contractors to assist in the rehabilitation of damaged structures. He stressed that the public and private sectors will work hand-in-hand to restore vital infrastructure.
And I told the regional director, tawagan na lahat ng contractor dito, tumulong silang lahat. Kahit walang bayad, advance muna. No, we are assuring them that we will pay them, but now, that is not the time now. Ngayon, we will just do everything. Lahat dapat dito, private sector, government sector, magtutulungan tayo para maayos lahat ito. Pati itong ospital, sasabihan ko na yung mga private contractor, gawin na nila ito.
The secretary further assured that despite the extent of the damage, the delivery of assistance to earthquake victims remains unhampered.
Pinapunta po kami ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos dito sa Cebu. Nanggaling po kami ng Masbate, pero sabi ng Pangulo, dumiretso na kayo sa Cebu. Nandito kami ngayon. Ang sabi niya, lahat ng immediate na kailangan ibigay. Kasama ko si Secretary Rex Gatchalian ng DSWD. Nagdala na ng food packs, nagdala ng hot meals, lahat. Nandito na. Kasama din namin si Sec Cristina Frasco, tsaka si Congressman Duke Frasco, tsaka si Congressman Shimura. Nagtutulungan kaming lahat to give everything na kailangan ng mga kababayan natin.
This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Philippine Coast Guard immediately mobilized its K9 units, medical teams, and resources to Cebu on Thursday to assist victims of the magnitude 6.9 earthquake, even as the agency reported the death of 3 of its own personnel in the disaster. Details from Henry Nicolas.
The Philippine Coast Guard K9 units from Manila began their search and rescue retrieval operations in Cebu midnight on Thursday, October 2, which was affected by the magnitude 6.9 earthquake. They prioritized a collapse portal located in Mansueto Street, Barangay Lourdes, Bogo City, Cebu. Together with representatives from CDRRMO and the BFP, the Coast Guard SAR dogs inspected the 4-story collapsed building. 2 portable water desalinators have also arrived in Bogo City, Cebu. They will be used to supply clean drinking water to affected residents after the earthquake damaged the city's water pipeline. Each portable water desalinator can produce 10,000 liters of potable water daily, providing 20,000 liters of clean drinking water to the recovering families every single day. Meanwhile, in addition, 6 PCG K9 units from the agency also safely arrived in Bogo aboard the C-130 from Manila. The mission is to expand the ongoing search and rescue retrieval operations struck by the earthquake. 36 doctors, nurses, and medical personnel from the PCG board in BRP Teresa Magbanwa are now in San Remigio, Cebu. In addition, 8 Coast Guard K9 units from Manila composed of 8 personnel and 6 working K9 dogs are continuing the SAR and retrieval operations. The BRP Gabriela Silang is scheduled to depart from Manila at 11 p.m. tonight, Thursday, to deliver food packs and evacuation supply tomorrow, October 3. For this transport mission, the PCG is partnering with the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, which is currently preparing 3,000 family food packs and 2,000 evacuation supply kits. Unfortunately, 3 PCG personnel died when the San Remigio Sports Complex collapsed during the earthquake. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
Moreover, the Department of Health, through its Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team, is setting up temporary, fully equipped hospital tents in Cebu to ensure continuous medical services for victims following the recent 6.9 magnitude earthquake. Vanessa Cleofas tells us more.
The Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team or PMAT of the Department of Health or DOH is set to establish temporary hospital tents in Cebu. This is to provide immediate medical care to patients in need of assistance after being affected by the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that struck the province. According to Health Secretary Ted Herbosa, the tents will be capable of conducting surgeries, consultation, laboratory test, and diagnostic. This will also serve as secondary temporary medical facilities for patients while some parts of existing hospitals remain damaged due to the earthquake. PMAT is classified as a Type 1 fixed emergency medical team registered under the Internationally Deployable Teams of the World Health Organization or WHO. It was previously deployed to Myanmar to respond to residents affected by a powerful earthquake there. Meanwhile, as part of DOH continued response in Cebu, additional medicines and medical supplies have also arrived in the province. These were transported via C-130 aircraft through the collaboration of the DOH and the Office of the Civil Defense or OCD. The medicines and medical supplies amounting to more than 933,647 were delivered by DOH Central Visayas. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
The death toll after the 6.9 magnitude quake in Cebu increased to 72, while hundreds were reported injured, according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Catherine Landicho has the report.
The death toll from the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that happened last September 30 has risen 72 according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council.
The death toll from the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that struck the province of Cebu has risen to 72 according to the latest report from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. The powerful tremor, which occurred 2 days ago, also left 294 people injured and affected a total of 47,221 families, equivalent to 170,959 individuals. A total of 597 houses were reported damaged, 501 of which were partially damaged while 96 were completely destroyed. The NDRRMC also reported that 87 infrastructure facilities, including old church and buildings, sustained varying degrees of damage due to the quake. Government response and relief operations are ongoing to assist those affected by the disaster. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. also donated 50 million pesos for the infrastructure restoration.
This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
Following the devastating magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Cebu, residents fearing the more than 3,000 recorded aftershocks were forced to sleep on the streets or take shelter under plastic bags as damage and aid shortages persist. Graciela Corazon with the details.
Due to the magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Bogu, Cebu, residents of Barangay Nylon prepared lie down and sleep on the street to spend the nights due to the series of aftershocks. The residents are said to live near the sea, so they were advised not to spend the nights in their homes for the times being. Some residents have already returned to their home after 2 days of earthquake's devastation, while others preferred to stay on the street for the fear of aftershocks. Some of residents of Mahawak, Mendelin, Northern Cebu were forced to use plastic bags as temporary shelter while heavy rains poured down on the said province. According to the report, the earthquake damaged their house, so they were evacuated to the mountains. They said there's no shelter, so they were forced to hide inside the large plastic bags. Meanwhile, search and rescue and assistance from various agencies are continuing to deliver the necessary assistance to the affected peoples of Cebu. The number of recorded aftershocks from the magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Cebu has reached 3,036, according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology of PHIVOLCS. This is Graciela Corazon for Eurotv News.
Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. denied rumors of a coup against the Marcos administration, assuring that the armed forces remain stable and loyal to the Constitution. The AFP also emphasized that their duty is to the Filipino people, not to politics or any personalities. More from this report. Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. has maintained that there is no coup plan under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Chodoro emphasized this and insisted that the state of armed forces of the Philippines is stable. The DND chief noted that the clear answer to the current issue is project management, addressing infrastructure, and holding those involved in corruptions accountable.
Sa ganang akin, sa Department of National Defense, stable ang armed forces. Dahil ang problema ng bansa ay hindi militar. Ang solusyon, hindi din militar. Ang solusyon ng mga problema ay tamang project management, tamang pagtugon sa infrastruktura na sinusubukan tugunan, at ang korupsyon na dapat ang mga may kinalaman dito kahit sino, kahit na gaano kataas, ay makarusahan.
The AFP has denied allegations regarding the coup. AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Cedric Trinidad explained that their loyalty does not depend on the politics and personality, but on the Constitution and the welfare of the Filipino people. The President on Wednesday reminded the soldiers to stand up for their duties under the Constitution.
What our modernizing armed forces need at this crucial time. We will not stand idle in the face of such threats. This is where your role in the AFP becomes indispensable, to hold the line and do it with resolve, with clarity and loyalty to your constitutional duty.
Alyansa ng Bantay sa Kapayapaan at Demokrasya Chairman Emeritus Dr. Jose Antonio Guisha meanwhile insisted that the soldiers know their duties to defend the country, noting that this is the foundation of the military's unity, underpinning their loyalty to their sworn duty. The issue came to the light amid the ongoing investigation into the flood control projects, tagging allies and relatives of President Marcos Jr. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
Pleading not guilty to charges of graft and extortion, San Simon, Pampanga Mayor June Punsalan Jr. appeared for his arraignment on Wednesday following his arrest 2 months ago for allegedly accepting a 30 million pesos payoff from the Real Steel Corporation to ensure the firm retain its tax incentives. Shai Morales tells us the details.
San Simon, Pampanga Mayor Abundio Jun Punsalan Jr. pleaded not guilty to graft and extortion charges during his arraignment on Wednesday, denying any involvement in the alleged activities. This comes 2 months after he was arrested during an entrapment operation in Calac, Pampanga on September 7, alongside his cohort, Ed Ryan Dimla, while allegedly receiving 30 million pesos. During his court appearance yesterday, Punsalan denied all allegations, asserting his innocence in the case. According to the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, the case stemmed from a complaint by the corporate secretary and general manager of Real Steel Corporation, who alleged that Dimla had demanded a payment of 80 million pesos in exchange for non-interference in the implementation of Ordinance Number 240025, which provides tax incentives to Real Steel Corporation. Following the demand, Dimla allegedly threatened to revoke Real Steel Corporation's tax incentives if the payment was not made. According to a Sandigan Bayan order dated September 9, Punsalan had initially posted cash bonds of 90,000 pesos for each of the cases filed against him for violating Republic Act No. 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and Article 293 of the Revised Penal Code, or robbery by means of extortion. Meanwhile, Real Steel Corporation has filed an urgent motion before the Office of the Ombudsman to suspend Punsalan due to grave misconduct and serious dishonesty, which remains pending. This is Shai Morales reporting for Eurotv News.
The National Bureau of Investigation has filed multiple counts of falsification of public documents against Alice Guo and her family. Based on the investigation, the Guo family owns major shares in their companies in Marilao, Bulacan. More from this report.
The National Bureau of Investigation has announced that its Bulacan South District Office has filed charges against former Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo and her family. According to the NBI, Guo faces 30 counts of falsification of documents involving the Articles of Incorporation, Secretary's Certificate, and the 2021 General Information Sheet. In addition, Guo was also charged with 30 counts of simulation of minimum capital stock under the Anti-Dummy Law and 4 counts of falsification of public documents used for business permits, including occupancy and building permits. Aside from Guo, charges were also filed against Sheila Guo, Simen Guo, and Lin Wenyi, who were found to be incorporators of several companies in Marilao, Bulacan, holding majority ownership shares. Earlier this month, the NBI also filed criminal and administrative complaints against Guo in connection with the alleged irregularities. KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
2 suspects linked to the 2020 killing of former PCSO board member Attorney Wesley Barayuga, Police Lieutenant Colonel Sante Mendoza, and former police officer Nelson Mariano have surrendered to the National Bureau of Investigation. Mia Layagin reports.
2 individuals linked in the killing of former PCSO board member Attorney Wesley Barayuga in 2020 surrendered to the National Bureau of Investigation. In a press briefing NBI presented before the media, the 2 individuals who voluntarily surrendered following an arrest warrant order issued by a Mandaluyong court. The 2 individuals were named as Police Lieutenant Colonel Santi Mendoza and former police officer Nelson Mariano, who surrendered on September 29th and 30th respectively. The 2 were the same individuals who appeared before the House Quad Committee's investigation on the case, who admitted their involvement in the murder. The inquiry led to the tagging of 3 others in the case, including Roy Magarma, Edelberto Leonardo, and Jeremy Causapin, who now has arrest orders as well. The 5 individuals are facing murder and frustrated murder charges in relation to the Barayuga murder case. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
The Department of Migrant Workers vowed to continued support for the family of a Filipino domestic helper sentenced to death in Kuwait. Officials said legal aid and assistance are being extended as the government works to ensure OFW's rights are upheld. Here is my report. An overseas Filipino worker is still awaiting execution in Kuwait for allegedly killing her employer's son. According to the Department of Migrant Workers, the Foreign Employment and Welfare Services in Kuwait has appealed for the OFW's case. The Kuwaiti Criminal Investigation Department arrested a Filipino in December 2024, but authorities only sentenced her to death on Wednesday. For now, the DMW assured that their support for domestic helpers' family continues. According to Migrant Worker Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak, they are working to provide proper education and guidance to the OFW's family, particularly the minor children of an OFW. This includes sending a legal team to push for justice for the OFWs who are on a death row. Meanwhile, the Philippine government is also monitoring the OFW situation to ensure that her rights are respected. More than 1,500 OFWs need legal assistance, including those with serious cases abroad. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
Calling for accountability, students from Pampanga State Agriculture University staged a protest on its university grounds. The protesters called out officials and individuals involved in the flood control scandal. Shai Morales returns.
Hundreds of students from Pampanga State Agricultural University, or PISAO, took to the university grounds this Wednesday, October 1, to protest widespread corruption in flood control projects. The protest, led by the Supreme Student Council, was supported by faculty members and various non-collegiate organizations. The participants marched to the University Administration Building, heeding calls for accountability, particularly within the government agencies like the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH. The demonstration, named as White Wednesday Walk, witnessed students lit their candles and voiced out their anger and frustration with politicians and officials allegedly involved in the corruption. The protesters demanded that those responsible for the substandard flood control projects be held accountable. In the past week, several progressive groups in Pampanga have also staged protests against the same issue of corruption in infrastructure projects, specifically on the province's flood control initiatives. This is Shai Morales reporting for Eurotv News.
The Department of Agriculture has advised farmers and fisher folks in Ilocos Norte, Cagayan, Isabela, Aurora, Quezon, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, and Catanduanes to take extra precautions and secure their livelihood as Tropical Storm Paulo continues its westward movement. Vanessa Cleophas returns.
The Department of Agriculture, DRRM Operations Center, has advised all farmers and fisher folk to prepare for the storm and to take extra caution, especially those in low-lying and coastal areas, particularly in Ilocos Norte, Cagayan, Isabela, Aurora, Quezon, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, and Catanduanes. This follows as Tropical Storm Paulo continues to move westward at 20 kilometers per hour with maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour and expected to bring rainfall to several parts of the country. According to the DA, it would be best for fisher folk to avoid sealing if the waves are high. Instead, secure their boats to prevent them from being swept away by strong waves. Farmers are also advised to secure their crops and seeds, especially high-value crops, by moving them to safe areas and keeping farm equipment in secure storage. The DA is also preparing the allocation of insurance and credit funds from the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation and the Agricultural Credit Policy Council for farmers and fisher folk who may be affected by Tropical Storm Paulo. Currently, the DA is also monitoring the movement of prices of agricultural products in the country while coordinating with Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council and local government units to implement further preparedness measures. This is Vanessa Cleophas for Eurotv News.
A new 4-kilometer street lighting project along Osmeña Highway has been inaugurated, significantly enhancing safety and security for motorists and pedestrians across Manila. Catherine Landicho returns for the details.
A newly completed street lighting project spanning more than 4 kilometers along Osmeña Highway has been opened to the public, aiming to enhance safety and security for both motorists and pedestrians.
4.1 kilometers, 1,162 na ilaw at 24,000 lumens.
Alright.
Ito ay programa ng inyong pamahalang lungsod kung saan isa sa nire-request sa akin ng mga netizen, lalo na yung mga nagde-deliver ng pagkain sa motor, yung mga dinadala sa mga bahay-bahay.
The project covers the stretch of Osmeña Highway, starting from Zubel Rojas Street at the boundary of Makati City, passing through key areas including San Andres, President Quirino Avenue, Elinao Street, Pedro Hill Street, Plaza Dilao, and Plaza Azul all the way to West Zamora. Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno Dumagoso expressed his heartfelt gratitude to San Miguel Corporation President Ramon Ang for donating 20.8 million pesos to make the project possible. With the installations of the new streetlights, authorities expect a reduction in road accidents and improved safety for pedestrian crossing the highway at night. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
Thousands of workers across Athens, Greece, staged a 24-hour general strike on Wednesday to protest a proposed labor reform bill that would allow employers to implement 13-hour workdays. More from Son Santiago.
Thousands of workers across Greece staged a 24-hour general strike on Wednesday, voicing out their dismay against a proposed labor reform bill. Several land and water transports were halted, while workers including teachers, civil servants, among others from different places across the country flocked to the capital to join the huge demonstration. The bill in question would allow employers to seek up to 13 hours a day compared with the current 8-hour standard. Consequently, total working hours per week including overtime will be capped to 48 hours, with a maximum of 150 overtime hours per year. The Guardian News reported the Greek government emphasizes that the reform is optional, applying only for up to 37 days annually, and says workers could earn 40% more in overtime pay. Several work unions in Greece, however, are not convinced. They say the proposal increases work pressure as well as work exploitation. According to Eurostat, Greeks already work an average of 39.8 hours per week, higher than the European Union average of 35.8 hours. Protesters are also calling for a shorter 37.5-hour work week instead. On the other hand, salaries in Greece lag behind most of Europe. The minimum wage is currently set at €880 a month, one of the lowest among the EU continent. The proposed reform is scheduled for debate in the parliament this month. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
Filipino tennis player Alex Yala beats Belgium foe Great Mitten in the quarterfinals of the Suzhou Open in China. Kyle Basa has the updates in the world of sports.
The thrilling battle between Alexandra Ayala against Great Mitten in the quarterfinals has fans left in shock as they put up a great performance in their matchup this October 1. The match took 3 hours and it showed how intense the battle was. It reached a nail-biting third set as well, making this match one of her longest matches of this year. The final score of the game was 7-6, 6-7, 7-5. She will be facing Victoria Golubic of Switzerland next for the last 8 of the competition. She is looking forward to her second WTA title, which she won in the previous Guadalajara Open 125 in Mexico this year. This is Kyle Basa reporting for Eurotv News.
Japanese rock band One Ok Rock is set to visit the Philippines for Detox Asia Tour. Sam Martos tells us more.
Let's step into the world of entertainment for our showbiz news. Feeling like you need a little detox? One Ok Rock has got you covered because they're bringing you the song you've been longing for as they return to the country for Detox Asia Tour.
The Japanese rock band One Ok Rock will be returning to the Philippines as part of their Asia concert tour. In a social media post by Pop Life World, they shared the concert poster of One Ok Rock along with the ticket prices. The group started in 2005 and consists of 4 members where they have already done many concerts and music festivals in the other countries. It will be remembered that the group last visited the Philippines in 2023 for their sold-out luxury disease tour held at the Araneta Coliseum. Aside from Manila, they will also visit Bangkok, Seoul, Singapore, Taipei, Kuala Lumpur, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Jakarta. Tickets for the concert will be priced between 3,500 pesos up to 9,500 pesos and will be available starting October 18 at 12 p.m. Philippine time. Meanwhile, the Detox Asia Concert 2 will take place on March 4, 2026 at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City.
And that's our showbiz news. Once again, I'm Sam Martos. Back to you, KRIZZA and ALVIN.
Thanks, Sam Martos. And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit Eurotv.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via Pinoy Extreme channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv Newsfeed. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.